Super Mario Sunshine is definitely my favorite game of all time. It's silly, colorful, and teaches kids how corrupt the law is. Unfortunately, however, there isn't much of a reason to replay it once you finished it. I mean, sure, there's the blue coins to collect and the secret shines to find, but other than that, there's really no reason to. And that's where Retro Achievements comes in. Retro Achievements is a community-based site where fans can go to create unique achievements for old games that didn't have any when they were originally released. These achievements breathe some new life into these old games and gives players another reason to replay them besides childhood nostalgia. Today we'll be talking about the main set of achievements for Super Mario Sunshine and how they added a fun, unique, and sometimes downright infuriating twist to Al Delfino. Oh, and before I forget, we'll also be trying to collect all achievements for Sunshine, which gives us a pretty sweet PNG and a nice shiny medal. So, with all that being said, let's go. Alright, so starting off we have the progression achievements, which pretty much directly ties into the story of Sunshine. You have ones like collect your first shine sprite or a certain number of them, unlocking Yoshi and the different flood nozzles, and beating Shadow Mario in all 7 courses before finally beating Bowser at the end. After collecting all of these achievements, you're rewarded with a silver medal, which pretty much means you met the requirements to beat the game, which is all good and dandy, but we're going for the shiny gold medal, which means we have to move along to what I like to call the completion achievements. The completion achievements pretty much refer to any and all achievements that have you 100% the game. This includes collecting the shines for all 8 episodes of a course, including the secret shines as well as the 100 coin shines, and all of the blue coins in each course as well. There are also some achievements that are tied to unlocking every flood nozzle in each course, which is pretty interesting. I mean, what other reason would you have to go out of your way to unlock the turbo nozzle in Rico Harbor? It's entirely unnecessary and can pretty much be forgotten about in a normal playthrough. That's also a benefit of retro achievements. There's achievements tied to parts of the game that can be overlooked in a normal playthrough, like the 1-ups for example. There are achievements for grabbing the hidden 1-ups in each area of Sunshine that you can really miss if you aren't specifically looking for them. Which brings us to our next type of achievements. Missable Achievements, as the name implies, are achievements that can be missed if you're not careful enough. For Sunshine, this includes collecting all 4 1-ups in Delfino Plaza before it's flooded and before reaching Corona Mountain. The reason why this achievement is missable is because you're unable to extinguish this campfire for a 1-up after visiting Corona. Another one that is missable is getting the blue coin from the Pianta with the mushrooms on his back.
Oh, hi Mark.
This one is missable because we have to collect the blue coin during our first visit to Delfino Plaza. Usually, we would have to wait until later in the game when he's on fire, so we can put him out and be rewarded with the blue coin. But what's interesting is that if he just accidentally falls into the goop and we end up saving him, he'll still reward us with the blue coin. The last 2 missable achievements involve the West and East bell towers. For the West tower, you're only able to clean the bell using the spray nozzle. This isn't too big of a deal until you realize there isn't a way to get close to the bell without using the rocket nozzle. Well, by jumping up to this ledge, then side jumping up to the flag, we're able to get just in range to spray the bell before collecting the shine. This wasn't as difficult as the East bell achievement, which is why it's worth less points in the set. For the East bell tower, the same rules apply, but now we have to collect the shine with Yoshi. We can do that by hopping on him and performing a spin jump to get onto this roof. Then, we can spray the bell with either Yoshi's juice, is it even juice? God, I hope it's just juice. Or with Flood spray nozzle before getting to the tricky part. The shine hovers way above the bell and usually we would need to get the rocket nozzle to get it. But what we can do is use Yoshi to spin jump to the top of the bell. Then another spin jump to just barely miss the shine. From here, we can jump off of Yoshi and into the shine to get it and the achievement. Now that we've collected all the missable achievements, we're on to, personally, my favorite type of achievements. While a lot of achievements have you primarily 100% the game, Inventive Achievements literally invent a challenge for you to do that wasn't a part of the core game before. The 2 bell tower achievements being primary examples. Some more examples for Sunshine would be collecting the shine sprite in the Super Slide secret level. Jesus, try saying that 5 times fast. Without touching the slide, or entering the Pachinko level in Pianta Village with only the hover nozzle. or throwing fruit into the pianta baskets in arbitrary ways. These achievements can be quite fun, but definitely range in difficulty, like the Slumber Party achievement, where all you have to do is fall asleep right next to PD Piranha. Then there's the Only Up achievement, where you have to enter the hotel lobby secret without wall jumping or using FLUDD, which is a bit harder. One of my favorites in this set is the We Still Got It achievement. For this one, you have to collect the 100 coin shine in Delfina Plaza without using the boats. The way we do this is by riding Yoshi and going underground. If we get enough momentum, we can jump out of the manhole stupidly high before starting to spin jump to minimize our fall speed. Then, using one last flutter, we're able to make it right to the shine. What I like about this one is that it's short and simple. You may get the achievement on your first try, or you may get it on your 100th try. Either way, this one pales in comparison to the 3 hardest achievements in the Mario Sunshine set. Alright, so the next 3 achievements were definitely the hardest achievements for me when attempting to complete this set. Whether it was left up to RNG, or having limited control of Mario, or just really difficult platforming. These achievements are the ones that took the longest to complete and sometimes required me to find another way to complete them because the intended way was just too difficult. The first one is called Sand Bomb Blast. What we're supposed to do is use the Cataquax in order to make it into the sandcastle secret level without touching the sand. This sounds like a pretty fun and interesting idea, which it is, but it's also deceptively difficult. The reason why this achievement is so difficult is because you have to wait for the perfect timing. If the Cataquacs are too far apart, then you can't reach them without touching the sand. If the Cataquacs aren't close enough to the sandcastle, you will also touch the sand. And you also have to worry about the sandcastle disappearing as well since it's on a timer. So how do we do it? Well, we could spend hours waiting for the perfect timing and just hope we don't fudge it up. Or we could use a little exploit. Is it an exploit? You see, once you touch the sand, the achievement is gone. But if you're hopping on a Cataquac and the sandcastle disappears, the achievement is still active. So all we have to do is reactivate the sandcastle and make our way over to it. By doing it this way, we can make sure the Cataquacs are in the right position and we have more time to reach the sandcastle. It's also funny to see Mario bouncing on a Cataquac in the sandcastle animation as well. The next achievement that gave me a lot of trouble is called Trial of the Particular Mushroom. What we have to do here is just complete the secret level with the turbo nozzle without letting go. What makes this achievement difficult are 2 factors. The first one is the fact that we have limited control of Mario. When you're using the turbo nozzle, you really can't turn well. Yeah, sure, you can go left or right a bit, but that's really it. While the first half of the level is pretty linear, the second half has a lot more sharp turns, especially the end of it. The second factor that makes this achievement difficult is running out of water. While Mario is using the turbo nozzle, FLUDD's tank depletes pretty quickly. So quickly, in fact, that we aren't able to make it to the end before running out of water. This is a problem because the achievement requires us to keep boosting until the end. If we let go even the slightest on the bumper or run out of water, then the achievement is voided. Luckily, however, there are 2 mushrooms in the level that will refill our water tank. The first one is directly in the middle of the level and pretty easy to get. The second one is further in the level and a bit harder to get. Obviously, I chose to go for the easier one during my attempts since it was just right there. But even after collecting the mushroom, the level is still pretty challenging. The first part of the level is pretty straightforward, literally, but it was the second part that was really giving me trouble. The blocks are at odd angles and trying to turn Mario when we get to this part is nearly impossible. I went at this achievement for hours and hours and didn't make much progress when I got to the second part of the level. That's when I discovered something interesting. You see, while using the turbo nozzle, you're unable to do much more than just run in a straight line. But we can do a turbo spin jump. When you're in a turbo spin jump, you can enter Y-Cam. This is huge because when we enter Y-Cam, we can turn much more quickly. All of a sudden, the second part of the level became much less challenging. I mean, I still struggled a bit while trying to get the hang of it, but after just a handful of tries, I was able to get this run. This last achievement was probably the most infuriating one. It's called Pianta Line, and it requires us to reach the flagpole by the tree at the edge of the village by only touching tree trunks.
Oh my!
The way we do this is by hopping onto the tree at the entrance of the village, then hovering over to these two piantas. Even though we can only touch tree trunks, jumping on the piantas' heads are still allowed, which brings us to why this achievement is so difficult. When jumping on a pianta's head, you can accidentally slip and touch the ground, causing the achievement to disappear. You know those Tony Hawk skate games where you have to balance the arrow in the middle of the bar or else you'll fall? Yeah, it genuinely feels like that. And you have a decent ways to go, so there's a lot of areas to mess up at. I genuinely couldn't find another workaround for this achievement, so I had to just rely on good old-fashioned skill. After 6 hours of attempts, I finally made it all the way to the flagpole.
Full!
Yeah, the small patch of grass at the base of the flagpole still counts. Thankfully, after another 4 hours, I was able to do it all again and grab onto the flagpole this time, before finally collecting the final achievement, nabbing us that sweet PNG and gold medal. Retro Achievements really gives older games a breath of life. The creative and unique achievement sets gives players another reason to come back to these games. Big shout out to Timenoe for creating this set for Super Mario Sunshine and a bunch of other bonus sets for SMS as well. If you liked the video, then leave a like or a comment on what game you'd like to see next. And with all that being said, peace.